I'm going to make it clear that these people are going to face additional charges. We're not going to take this lightly.
Regaining control, inmates briefly taking over 2 dorms at the Liberty County Jail, what led to the riot, how officers shut it all down, and their message to any prisoner thinking about doing it again.
Convicted of murder, a Beaumont man found guilty for the brutal stabbing of an elderly woman. How long he'll have to spend behind bars, and the evidence prosecutors credit with helping put him away.
Critical roles like mine across the government are being terminated without any real basis or reason.
From Winnie to Washington, D.C., he says he worked hard at the Labor Department, but his job got slashed by DOGE. But moments ago, a breaking development coming in affecting pink-slipped federal workers.
And temperatures staying above normal heading into the weekend.
Live from the KFDM studios, you're watching KFDM 6 News at 6.
Good evening. Thank you for joining us. I'm Aaron Drawhorn.
And I'm Kimberly Roosley. We have an update now to breaking news we first told you about on Live at 5. An apartment complex fire in Bridge City is now out.
That complex on Texas Avenue catching fire around 3:30. This picture of the initial flames submitted to our media partner Kevin Steele with 1813 News.
And let's take you there live right now. You can see that there are looks to be tenants and first responders there, firefighters who are now at the scene with the flames now out. This is at Southern Oaks Apartments. And right now we're getting new information from our reporter who's there at the scene, Trace Sanchez. He tells us the fire burned 8 units in 3 buildings. Those units now unlivable. So that means those folks will have to find a new place to stay. First responders pulled 3 people to safety. There were no injuries that were reported, and Trey is there talking with families right now who are impacted. We'll have his new report on KFDM 6 News at 10. In other news tonight, 5 Liberty County jail inmates are facing charges after taking part in a riot that briefly led to the takeover of 2 jail dorms.
KFDM's Taylor Justice was on scene just after the sheriff's office regained control, and she's live in studio now with the dramatic details. Taylor.
Aaron, Kimberly, when I arrived on scene, there were about a dozen agencies at the jail assisting the Liberty County Sheriff's Office in retaking the jail dorms. It all began this morning while the Sheriff's Office conducted shakedowns, looking for illegal items like drugs in 2 of the jail dorms, both housing about 45 inmates total. While correctional officers searched for contraband, inmates began throwing items, tying up clothing, and breaking 6 windows in an attempt to escape. Correctional officers evacuated and secured the hall, calling for reinforcements. The inmates refused to allow a team to enter the dorms, so officers broke a window to spray tear gas inside. Once the inmates calmed down enough, officers were able to get back inside and regain control. No officers were injured. 2 inmates were brought to the hospital to be checked out. One of them, an instigator of the riots.
At the end of the day, this is a facility that is overpopulated, and we're trying our hardest to get it down. And we have people in here that are violent criminals. And we just need to make sure that they know that it doesn't matter what you do. You're not going to get out. You're going to stay where you're at, and you're going to face the justice system.
The Liberty County Sheriff's Office says 5 inmates will be charged, but there could be more while it continues reviewing video footage. It also says there will be a line open for families to call and check on their loved ones. Reporting live in studio, I'm Taylor Justice. Aaron, Kimberly.
All right, Taylor, thank you. A man is preparing to begin a 35-year prison sentence for murdering a woman inside her own apartment. A jury in the courtroom of Judge Raquel West decided on the punishment this afternoon after convicting 68-year-old Leonard Thompson of murder in the stabbing death of 74-year-old Peggy Peer in Beaumont. Prosecutors say DNA evidence was overwhelming against Thompson, and video shows that he is the only person who walked in and out of her apartment during the time of the killing. Beaumont police say Peer was killed September 14th of 2023 inside her apartment at Raintree Tower on French Road. Prosecutors allege Thompson wanted money from Peer, and when she said no, he killed her. Police say she died of a stab wound to her neck.
An accused pervert no longer on the prowl after a weekend of exposing himself. 35-year-old Dante McZeal arrested today. He's charged with indecent exposure after a series of crimes from Friday night to Saturday morning. Beaumont police say he targeted 3 different women in the Christus St. Elizabeth Hospital parking garage. They say McZeal rolled up in a black Chevrolet Cruze, aggressively exposed himself, and in one case, police say he even attacked a victim's vehicle. Tonight, BPD crediting quick action by the hospital security. Another day, another school threat today. This time it's Hardin Jefferson High School in Sour Lake. HJISD spokesman Ashley Elam says a student made the threat this morning, and he says the district took immediate action. He says the campus is secure and students were safe all day. Elam says Hardin Jefferson takes any threatening statement seriously and will address these to the maximum extent possible.
All right, now let's get a first check of our forecast with Aaron Mack. Aaron, the sun out today, nice and beautiful.
Yep, plenty and in full, and still seeing a little bit of cloud cover, and even overnight we'll see that cloud cover slowly dissipate. We'll take a live look at our weather cam here on top of our station on Walden Road here in Beaumont, overlooking Interstate 10 off towards the east there. This is brought to you by Do Good Credit Union and Beaumont Tractor, where temperatures are sitting at 68 degrees. Partly cloudy skies. We'll see the skies open up and give us mostly clear skies heading into early Friday morning. And you see on the satellite imagery over the last 6 hours, the cloud cover hanging around for just a tad bit longer, but trust me when I tell you, it'll open up and give us a beautiful sunny start to this weekend tomorrow morning. Afternoon highs were around the low 70s for the lakes and for the Golden Triangle. 74 was the high for Bayou Den, and as well as Sam Houston Elementary and Sabine Pass. Temperatures now, 62 for Coleman, 64 for Chester, and then you see 68 for Bayou Den. Gator Country coming in at 67 degrees, and Barbers Hill ISD sitting at 69. Our allergy report brought to you by the Texas Pulmonary Institute. High on the tree pollen levels, medium in the grass levels. Some rain chances going into next week will help calm those down just a little bit. More details in just a few minutes.
All right, Aaron, thank you. Well, breaking now, moments ago, a judge in San Francisco ruling moments ago that the mass firings of federal probationary workers is unlawful, ordering further proceedings.
Now, one of those workers fired is a Southeast Texas native. He says he plans to fight what he calls an unfair termination from his federal job. The man from Winnie, one of 30,000 federal workers fired in the downsizing under DOGE.
KFDM Sydney Ferguson joins us in studio tonight. And Sydney, what are some of his concerns? Obviously his job.
Yes, Kimberly and Aaron, Trace Horger says the way federal workers are being treated right now is unprecedented. He says neither HR nor his supervisors were aware he'd be fired. He's also already locked out of Department of Labor systems, his computer and email weeks ahead of his official termination date.
24-year-old Trace Horger landed his dream job last March, working as a cybersecurity specialist for the U.S. Department of Labor.
This was my first cybersecurity job right outside of my master's, and it was a really good situation. I loved the people that I work with. I loved what I did.
Last Tuesday, Horger learned he'll be terminated on March 7th, the same day he would have celebrated 1 year.
My sudden termination basically leaves me scrambling for a new job, while leaving me a little financially concerned. I was surprised by the choice of words used in the letter.
Horger's termination letter stated his employment isn't in the public interest. He's one of thousands of federal workers fired in an effort to downsize the government, which he says creates a concern for national security.
Critical roles like mine across the government are being terminated without any real basis or reason, even if we're high performers and we're doing our job exceptionally.
Horger says the way government employees are being treated is unprecedented. Past administrations have downsized as well, but Horger says those processes took years and didn't leave thousands unemployed at a moment's notice.
The biggest thing that I think Americans should be concerned is just how much of a footprint this is, all these vacancies and layoffs of probationary employees are leaving behind.
Originally from Winnie, Horger says he packed up and moved to Washington, D.C. for the job. Now that the dream is over, Horger says he plans to fight his termination with legal counsel.
People do not go inside the government for a high-paying job. They want to serve their country as a civilian, and work for the American people. I mean, no matter how small the job you think you might have. I loved what I did, no matter how small my role and my small footprint in the federal government. At the end of the day,
Horger added that despite the job cuts being blamed on efficiency, government employees don't receive enough money for the government to save much by firing them. More information about what Horger has seen in Washington will be available on KFDM.com. Reporting live in studio, I'm Sydney Ferguson. Aaron, Kimberly, back to you.
All right, thank you, Sydney. And now we'll turn things over to Aaron Mack. Coming up in our full weather forecast, we know there's lots of sun, but there's also a little bit of rain coming later.
Yes, we are looking for a little bit of rainfall, but nothing that will impede this weekend because we do have good weekend.
It just takes one little piece of evidence that can break a case and go a long way.
A pregnant woman strangled, shot in Beaumont. The 27-year-old long fight for justice is now heating up.
And now Aaron Mack, the Weather Authority.
Well, it was certainly a good day to hit the golf course, and pretty sure a lot of people did just that. As we take a live look up into Rayburn country, pretty quiet now as the sun is starting to set. A little bit more cloud coverage up there compared to what the rest of Southeast Texas is seeing, but overall, by the time we get into early Friday morning, that cloud cover will continue to move out. 62 degrees is the current temperature. Do Good Credit Union and Mott's and TKC Knives are the sponsor with this live look, and we'll take a look into Nederland, overlooking, this is at C.O. Wilson Middle School. 72 was the high for today, currently sitting at 67. Winds, they had gusting at times up to 19 miles per hour. We'll take a look at temperatures across the state. Not much really changing at the moment. A slow drop, 64 for Austin, 65 for San Antonio. Del Rio sitting at 72. Then you have 61 back in the Panhandle for Amarillo. 35 is what we're forecasting Amarillo to be around as we head into early Friday morning. A lot of the colder temperatures hanging back off to the northwest Panhandle. Not too bad. Some low cool temperatures for Waco and Dallas-Fort Worth. Mid-40s for us here in the southeast Texas area. And then you see those 50s to low 60s down in South Texas. And then by the afternoon, it's pretty much almost that complete opposite. Amarillo goes from around the low to mid 30s back to around the lower 70s. Across much of the Lone Star State, we'll see some of those 70s, upper 70s forecasted for Del Rio and for Brownsville. As we continue pushing forward, Things are pretty much nice and calm. Area trough for low pressure continuing to swing across the northeast, causing some snowstorms. Then we'll look at both of those areas of low pressure near Albuquerque and back off to the west of Los Angeles, between Los Angeles and San Francisco. That will in turn kind of give us a little bit of rain chances moving forward. So as we put the maps into motion and continue taking a look ahead, again, the cloud cover will slowly fade out as we move into early Friday morning. By then, we'll already start to see that slow warm up. By tomorrow afternoon, again, we look to see temperatures around the low 70s. Notice winds come back out of the south, pushing moisture back in. So we'll see relative humidity go up just slightly, but then those winds will transition once more back from the south to kind of the northwest a little bit before fully going north, heading into much of the day Saturday. Kind of a little change there. We'll see south, southwest to northwest and much more of a northeasterly flow by Saturday evening. But overall, the theme of the weekend is plenty of sunshine as we continue moving forward to the fact where Saturday we expect temperatures around the upper 70s. Would not be surprised with those winds out of the south for a little bit if we saw a few spots around the lower 80s. Now our next weather maker has mentioned, we told you we're watching both of those areas of low pressure. Area of low pressure number one, it's closest to us, will move over North Texas heading into Sunday. A few chances for some storms going into Monday, which we think will be around a light 20%. And then we'll look back out to the west and the Pacific Northwest. This will in turn help rain chances go up. That's area of low pressure number two. And we're expecting that to arrive on Tuesday, where we think around 50 to 60% area-wide coverage. And you'll see that reflected on the rain outlook. Zeros across the board Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Starts to increase Monday going into Tuesday, and then we see zeros across the board once more as everything starts to dry out. Temperature forecast over the next 5 days, not bad at all. Those mid to upper 70s hanging around for much of the weekend going into the early part of the week. And the nighttime lows a little cool for the next few mornings, but you see those slowly increase back to around the mid 60s on Tuesday as well. So mostly clear skies for our forecast for tonight, lower 40s for the lakes and low to mid 40s for the Golden Triangle. And then we'll see mostly sunny skies for Friday, a great way to start our weekend with the low 70s hanging around all across the southeast Texas area with winds out of the south gusting up to 15 miles per hour. The extended outlook brought to you by Philpott Ford. Temperatures well above the normal high, getting back to around the normal low for the next few mornings. However, those won't last too long. The nighttime and daytime temperatures will warm back up as we head into the early part of next week.
Still 70s across the board. That's good in my book.
Yep.
Beautiful. All right, thank you, Aaron. Well, up next, in cold blood, a pregnant mother found dead in a Beaumont home. The killer still on the loose. The latest on the murder case and how her family is fighting for justice decades later.
A senseless act of violence. That's what the Beaumont Police Department calls the murder of a woman and her unborn child.
27 years have passed, but not a day goes by that Roquisha Norman's family doesn't think about her. KFDM's Jade Morrow reports what investigators know about the case and a plea from her family.
And I was the last kid at the school waiting by the principal's office, waiting for my mom to come get me.
It's a day Christian Norman remembers vividly. Her mother never picked her up. In fact, when she got home, all she was met with were signs of a crime scene.
And I saw red and blue lights, police lights.
Her mother, Roquisha Norman, was murdered at just 22 years old and 9 months pregnant.
Well, Roquisha was found inside her home on Primrose on November the 18th of 1997. She was strangled and shot.
After 27 years, many have forgotten such a crime happened on this quiet street. But this hard-working mother with no enemies has a family still questioning who could have done such a thing and why.
My mama, she just couldn't understand what had happened. She lived to be 100 years old, and she passed praying for you all to find out who did it.
Beaumont police have a person of interest, but they are missing information that can allow them to move forward.
When someone gives that little piece of information that points us in a direction, that's all we need.
2 girls grew up without their mother by actions they hope weigh heavily on someone's shoulders.
I don't remember what her voice even sounds like, what she smells like, what she feels like. I don't have those memories. God is watching you, and one day you will have judgment. When you leave this earth and go to the other earth, you will stand in front of God.
Heavy enough that someone will come forward and put this case to rest. In Beaumont, I'm Jade Morrow reporting.
If you have any information that might help solve this case, you're asked to contact Beaumont Police or Crime Stoppers at 833-TIPS. Of course, you can remain anonymous and you could be eligible for a cash reward.
Hopefully someone comes forward.
That's right.
Mike's here with sports. 2 crosstown rivals set to take the court with a trip to state on the line. Mike.
Yeah, of course. Enough on the line, right? Westbrook and United battling it out for the 4th time this year. We'll hear from both of them as they prepare for tomorrow's battle next.
And now, let's go to the sports desk with Mike Friedman.
Well, some would say this is the best time of the year for high school basketball. It's state title time for the girls as the Kuntz Lionettes will take on the Paradise Lady Panthers inside the Alamo Dome in San Antonio tomorrow morning at 11 a.m. We will have highlights and reaction, win or lose, from those Lionettes coming up tomorrow. Also tomorrow night, well, there's a pretty big battle on the boys' side of things with Beaumont rivals Westbrook taking on United in the 5A Division I Region 3 Finals. Winner will play in the state semis next week. That battle will be at the Natchez Arena inside the Montaigne Center tomorrow night. It's the third straight year that the Bruins and T-Wolves are meeting up in the playoffs. And while Westbrook's won all 3 meetings this year against BU, it's United that's won the last 2 postseason battles. They say it's hard to beat the same team 3 times in a season, but the Bruins have done just that. Now the goal is to beat the same team a 4th time, this time with their season on the line. And Bruins head coach Michael Thompson knows he'll have his team ready for anything tomorrow.
Coach Green, he's a Hall of Fame coach, so I'm pretty sure he got a game plan. He going to throw some different things at me. And I'm just trying to be as ready as possible, you know what I mean, because I know, like I say, with his pedigree, his long coaching career, he going to have some good things in store. So we got to make sure that we focus and we ready to make adjustments throughout the game. And it's going to come down to who's going to fight hard. You know what I'm saying? You got to go to war.
Now on the other side of this matchup, Beaumont United and postseason success are almost synonymous. But this year, BU will have to find a way to snap their current skid against the Bruins if they hope to get back to the state tournament. Easier said than done, as both squads know what one another is all about. And for the Wolves, they're ready to leave it all out on the court tomorrow night.
They made up their mind that they believe in one another now. They're playing for each other. You know, the first part of the year, they were just trying to figure it out. And now they realize that if you come together as a unit to be on one accord, great things can happen. And when it gets tough, they begin to pull for each other and trust in each other more. And that's been the difference. And now they really do believe that, hey, they're here for a reason. And we just plan on going out there tomorrow and giving our best shot. And we feel like we just...
All right. Well, it should be a great battle. We'll look forward to that coming up tomorrow night.
Tomorrow night. What time is it?
7:30 tip-off.
All right.
Yeah.
Thanks, Mike.
You bet.
We'll be right back with a final check of your forecast.
As we take a final look at our extended outlook for this early time of the evening, Temperatures not bad at all heading into the weekend. A little cooler the next few mornings. Some low 40s for the lakes tomorrow, mid 40s for the Golden Triangle. But we can expect plenty of sunshine heading throughout this upcoming weekend. Some rain chances Monday and Tuesday, but nothing too bad that will drop these temperatures below the normal high.
All right, decent forecast, all in all. All right, thank you, Aaron.
That'll do it for KFDM 6 News at 6.
We'll see you back here tonight at 10.